Hello everyone, my name is Nathan. Today I am bringing to you a ranking of 50 Indiana Jones characters. There's never been anything like this on YouTube before, for good reason. There's not a lot of main characters in Indiana Jones. Like, this list is hard to make, but we're gonna roll with it. Before I get started, I want to give a shout out to my friend Carson for giving me this video idea. Thank you for the suggestion, and I hope you approve of my list, and if you don't, screw you, man. A lot of these characters, I actually don't know their names. I had to look them up because they're always just that character in my mind. So please excuse me if I mispronounce any of these. Also, I'm making this video before I've seen Dial of Destiny, obviously. I'll either regret that or be very grateful that I did that. Only time can tell. But this will be ranking 50 characters from the first 4 movies. All right, let's get started. Coming in at number 50, we have Antonin Dovchenko, or as I like to call him, Antonin, because he's the guy who gets eaten by ants. 49, we have Tarantula number 3. This is from the group of tarantulas that are on Satipo's body. I was a little mixed between Tarantula number 14 and Tarantula number 3, but I ended up going with 3 because I think he has a little bit more screen time. Number 48, Interdimensional Being. You know, a lot of people give them hate. I don't really mind them too much, and it's pretty cool looking. Doesn't say a lot, but it looks cool. 47, we have Bronca, mostly because I had to put him somewhere, and I needed people at the bottom of the list, so I just kind of threw him on this list. I also definitely didn't know what his name was before this video. 46, we have the student from Kingdom of the Crystal Skull who has a really bad Wilhelm scream. I don't know why they put a Wilhelm scream right here. It doesn't match the scene at all, and it looks really silly. So I had to make sure I included him in the list, but I had to make a statement and rank him lower on the list. Number 45, we have the little bratty kid from Temple of Doom who uses voodoo and tries to hurt Short Round. We don't like this kid, and he talks so conceited. He's such a conceited little dirtbag, but when you're working with the amount of characters that you have with Indiana Jones, you have to include little brats like this kid, and so he does make the list, but he's number 45. Number 44, we have the lady that smiles at Indiana and his dad, then proceeds to yell, "Kill them." I don't have a reason for why this is here. She just always kind of sticks out in my mind, and so I wanted to make sure to include her in the ranking, but maybe she's just not like special enough to be higher on the list. Number 43, we have the crocodile or alligator, whatever it is, but specifically the one that spins in the water. I like that one. Number 42, we have the library student that asks Indiana Jones a question about a problem he's working on. This guy also is in the Bratz movie, which yes, I've seen that, and so I wanted to shout him out here so that he could be recognized, I guess. I don't know. Why am I paying this guy a favor? I don't know. I don't owe him anything. Number 41 is the corpse. The corpse. Number 40 goes to Chief Guard, aka the guy I've always just called Propeller Guy. Number 39 is Arab Swordsman, solely for the fact that his death is hilarious, and I think it's probably one of the funniest scenes in all of Indiana Jones. 38 goes to Reagan, I guess his name is. It's the guy that's in a drinking contest with Marion. This guy is just so jolly. I've always liked him. I mean, he just seems like a jolly guy. Can't really hold his own, but you know, he makes it far, which is cool. 37 goes to Art Weber, which I'm sure you're wondering who the heck is this. I didn't know until I was looking at Indiana Jones characters. This is a character in Temple of Doom played by Dan Aykroyd. I don't know. I guess he like helps Winnie onto the plane or something. And he's pretty cool when he's in it. Number 36, we have the librarian from Last Crusade who is confused by the stamping. Every time they make a loud noise in the background, he stamps the book, and he's really concerned and confused about the loud noises. That librarian's cool. I like him. In fact, I'd say he's my 36th favorite Indiana Jones character. 35 goes to Jock, who is the notorious fisherman who is fishing while Indiana's just trying to catch a ride off the island. Jock owns a pet snake too, so that's something. Can you tell I don't have a lot of details about these characters? Number 34 is the guy who falls on the truck in Raiders of the Lost Ark. 33 and 32 are a combo pack. It's Colonel Musgrave and Major Eaton, which I definitely did not know their names before filming this. They're the two guys who visit Indiana Jones and Marcus Brody about the Ark in the first movie. I don't really know anything about these characters, but I put Major Eaton above Colonel Musgrave because he plays Porkins in Star Wars, and so I was a little biased there. 31, we have Mac from Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. He's just so wishy-washy. He's like a double agent to the Fourth Power or something, and he's so shocked when he's like, "Jonesy!" and he gets punched in the face and he's all shocked. It's like, why are you shocked? You betrayed him like so many times. Quit acting shocked. Mac is a silly Billy. Let's move on. Number 30, we have Kate Blanchett's character. I guess her name is Irina Spalko, I found out. She's not bad. She's like top 30. That's pretty good. 29, we have Lao Che. Lao She. Number 29 goes to Lao She because he's a really despicable guy, and he's a good villain, a good little side villain we start Temple of Doom off with. He has a very good villainous laugh and a good smile when he's being a little mischievous bad guy. And also it's funny when Indiana Jones obliviously goes onto his airline and he just starts laughing because he's like, "You're an idiot, Dr. Jones." 28 is Molaram, the bald bad guy from Temple of Doom. He does nothing for me. He's fine. He's there. He's a villain. Number 27 goes to Satipo. I don't know if that's how you pronounce his name. Alfred Molina's character, Doc Ock, you know. I mean, he's not in it a lot, but he has some pretty cool scenes when he is in it. Gets a moment with Tarantula number 3 and also shares the screen with Harrison Ford in one of the most exciting moments of the whole franchise. So pretty cool. Number 26 goes to the monkey. 25 goes to Ernst Vogel. He's the bad guy in Last Crusade who falls off the cliff with a tank. He's a pretty good side villain, but he's not as memorable as some side villains we get in Raiders, so I ranked him a little lower. 24 goes to Wuhan just because his one scene with Indiana Jones is really sweet and special. 23 goes to Herman because he's a cool Boy Scout and he looks like a Gerber baby, and I like that he plays this huge anthem when he walks into Indiana's house. 22 goes to the Grail Knight in Last Crusade. I don't know why I clarified which movie it was. There's not any other movies that have Grail Knights. This guy had a job. He stuck to it. He's very good at perseverance and commitment, and I like the way he says you've chosen poorly or you've chosen wisely. 21 goes to Charles Stanforth just because he's played by Jim Broadbent, and he's kind of like the Marcus of sorts in this movie. He's not even close to Marcus, but he's Marcus in the sense that you see a scene of him with Indiana Jones at the college, and so I'm ranking him here. Number 20 goes to Harold Oxley. He's pretty crazy the majority of his movie, but it's cool seeing him at the end at the wedding when he's all clean shaven and everything. 19 goes to the student in Raiders of the Lost Ark who has "Love You" written on her eyelids. I just think that's always been really clever and kind of funny, and so I had to rank her higher on the list. Number 18 goes to Indiana himself, the dog. Number 17, I don't know if his name is Garth or Fedora. I've seen the name both ways online, but it's the guy in Last Crusade who Indiana Jones is stealing the artifact from. He's just super cool, and you know that Indiana Jones was inspired by him a little bit, like he got the hat from him and everything. Just a cool guy. 16 is Simon Katanga because it's neat that he helps Indiana Jones and Marion out in Raiders of the Lost Ark, and he just seems like a cool guy to be on a ship with. 15 goes to Kazim or Kazim. I'm not really sure how to pronounce his name, but it's the guy from Last Crusade who was all about protecting the Brotherhood. I appreciate his dedication to protecting and preserving something that's so special to him, and so I wanted to rank him higher than the rest. 14 goes to Donovan because he's pretty much the main villain of Last Crusade, and I want to include these main villains higher, except for the case of Cate Blanchett, I guess. And while I don't think he's like as iconic as other villains, he still is pretty cool, and he has a really iconic death scene too, so that's sweet. 13 goes to Dietrich solely because he's a more iconic villain in my mind from Raiders, and he has an iconic death too, so had to include him there. Number 12 goes to Mutt. I really don't dislike him as much as everyone else. I think he's a pretty good character. I like that he's like a greaser in this film, that he's so into like slicking back his hair and black leather jacket, white shirt kind of style. I just think that's neat. The scene with the monkeys is ridiculous, but as far as Mutt goes as a character, I don't mind him too much. Number 11 goes to Elsa. I think she's a great female in the Indiana Jones series. I think what I like most about Elsa is, ironically enough, her death. Like, I like her as a character, but I think her death says a lot about her character, trying to reach for the Grail and everything. But as a kid, I'll be completely honest, her death horrified me. Number 10 goes to Winnie. I don't dislike Winnie as much as everyone else. A lot of people are annoyed of her, it seems, like on the same level as someone like Jar Jar Binks. I definitely don't dislike her that much. I don't even really dislike her. I think that she is really good for what she's supposed to be. She's supposed to be the screaming female who is always getting into trouble, and she's supposed to be really worldly, and so being out in the wild is hard for her. What she's supposed to be, I think she does a great job at, and I think it works in Temple of Doom, so I'm not as annoyed of her as other people are. I'm not actually really annoyed of her at all. Number 9 goes to Toht, or in other words, the guy that burns his hand with the medallion thing. He's just iconic Indiana Jones. Like, I couldn't leave him out of the top 10. Like Dietrich, he has a great death as well, and he goes great with my number 8, which is Belloq. Belloq is like the main villain of Raiders and kind of the best villain of Indiana Jones. I'm just realizing realizing that right now as I'm filming. At least he's my highest ranked villain in this video. He plays unfair. He's always taking what Indiana Jones does all the work for. He eats a fly, which is great, and he also has an iconic death. Number 7, I have young Indiana Jones, played by River Phoenix. The beginning sequence of Last Crusade is some of my favorite Indiana Jones content we have, and the fact that it's all led by this younger version that's not even Harrison Ford is very impressive that it works so well. I think River Phoenix kills it as young Indiana Jones. Just love seeing that mini adventure, and you can see how young Indiana Jones is gonna eventually mold into the Indiana Jones that we know and love. Coming in at number 6, I have Marion. This is going to be lower than other people's rankings. Marion is hit and miss with me. I have this hot take where I actually like her more in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. She's great in Raiders, but she's just screaming Indy the whole time, and after a while it just annoys me a little bit. I still like Marion though, just right outside my top 5. Coming in at number 5, I have Short Round. He is such a great character. I love this kid so much. He makes me laugh a lot too. Not only is he funny in Temple of Doom, but he also has so many moments where you're rooting for him just like you would root for Indiana Jones, and so it's just fun seeing him on the screen. I love the scene especially when he's beating up that bratty kid that I ranked earlier in this list. I'm like, oh yeah, punch him, Short Round, get him. I love the scene also where he's playing cards with Indiana Jones and he's caught cheating after accusing Indiana of cheating. Really great scene. Short Round and Indiana have great chemistry. I love them in this movie. It could have been a disaster having a sidekick character that's a kid. So glad that it works out. I love Short Round. Sallah is incredible. I love seeing him in both Raiders and Last Crusade. It also helps that those are my 2 favorites of the series, and so seeing him in both of those movies definitely helps his ranking here. He's just really funny. He has that endearing, deep voice that we all love. He's just the friend on all these adventures. I love when he shows up, and I have a feeling he's not going to be in Dial of Destiny too much, but I'm still excited to see him. I love Brody, probably more than I should, but he cracks me up. He goes from being this character in Raiders of the Lost Ark that is just there to kind of move the plot along, explain what's going to be happening, to Last Crusade, where he's a crucial character and has plenty of funny scenes. I love the scene when Indiana Jones is talking about how hard it's going to be to find Brody, how he can disappear. He knows several languages. You'll never find him. Then it cuts to him, doesn't even know the language, needs water, needs help finding where he's going. There are just so many funny moments with him. Brody is possibly the funniest character of the series. Possibly. He's one of the funniest, at least. I'd have to think about that a little bit more. But I would put down that he's at least a contender when it comes to funniest characters. Number 2 goes to Henry Jones Sr., played by Sean Connery, of course. Kind of like Short Round, this should not work as well as it does. I mean, bringing Indiana Jones's dad into the series sounds like it would be a disaster, but it works really well. Just like Indiana and Short Round, Indiana and his father have really great chemistry. Seeing them kind of fight back and forth, but also work together throughout the film is awesome. And Sean Connery kills it. He is great casting, and it's one of the reasons I love Last Crusade so much. And coming in at number 1, I have Indiana Jones himself, obviously. Indiana Jones is not only my favorite Indiana Jones character, he's possibly my favorite movie character of all time. He's iconic, he's great, the best action character ever probably. And yeah, he was the only one on this list that you knew would be number 1, so I'm not going to spend too much time. Anyways, there's my ranking of 50 Indiana Jones characters. This was no easy feat, but I challenge you to leave your ranking of 50 characters in the comments below. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a great day.